Hey girls.
Hey. Hi.
Apparently I needed a witness of how wicked St. George is as well, and it's not just Salt Lake or South Mountain Draper Highland. You know, I moved to Draper and I tell people I went there because of the ley lines and because it's close to the airport downtown and the highway. But the reality is it's at the center of one of the most wicked epicenters in the world.
Right.
And I have yet another witness of that. I just got off the phone with the guy that I met last night. He used to live in Draper. Now he lives in Logan. I'm not going to name names, but we just had a 40-minute phone call where he witnessed to me what I have witnessed as a single woman in the last 2 years. Now, I've witnessed it in my third eye for a long time. But to hear it out of the mouth of a man who has grown up here and has witnessed it as a single man versus a woman, and his perspective of the women in Utah that are single and what they're doing, I now have confirmation, which is a massive marker in the plan before the destructions come. Having said that, let me give you a little play-by-play of my weekend in St. George. And I'd like to thank Tracy for getting my hotel. The location was perfect. I spent my time at the hotel, at the Hive, and then last night after going and having dinner, drinking, dancing, listening to the band at the Hive, I went to Spiritual. I think it's the only closest thing to a club in St. George. And I saw the same depravity I see everywhere I go when I go to clubs. And I was hit on the same way I get hit on every time. And anyway, it's a marker. So I navigated the energy. On Thursday night, when I got there, I was just wearing my leggings and tank top and sweatshirt hoodie with my Converse and hadn't done my hair. On Friday night, I had a black dress on with my brand new red cowboy boots. At first I went and I didn't have my hair done, and then I went to the salon at 7 and had it washed and curled. And just for the different energy, and because I needed to see my friend salon who needed a session, was going to see her again. She just happened to be available on a Friday night at 7 p.m., which is when I could go. But I haven't seen her since last summer, and she really needed that session. So I'm grateful the universe brought that together, and I was able to use my skills to listen and hear and see what needed to happen while I was on this trip. Now, what got me here was a visual of me at these places and a timeline that called for me to stay at this hotel that's right next door to the Hive in downtown St. George, Utah. Anybody that knows where Wood Ash Rye is, you'll know where I stayed. On Thursday night, I met several people, mostly men, and a couple of women. One woman was kind to me, the other one pretended to be nice. She's actually a bitch. And most of the other women were not friendly at all, which is pretty typical of what I experience everywhere I go, especially in Utah. It is off the charts. I try to think that it's just because these women are broken and they've been abused as Mormons and ex-Mormons in a system that is corrupt, and I try to give them the benefit of the doubt. But the reality is that jealousy's a bitch, and when they sense my light, they either try to compete with it or they try to steal it. And I'm going to own that 100% without cockiness, without any kind of excuse for them, and without any kind of ego in that. This is the reality of what I experience. And I see it all the time. Men also do this, but it comes in a different way. I carry the codes for both the masculine and feminine on the masculine line. And when I go public with that, I know that there are certain groups on the planet that will understand exactly what I mean by that, and I will make myself a larger target. However, these same groups on the entire spectrum also know that I am not here to compete with them. I'm here to help, to raise the frequency of anybody that wants to have the light. Now, having said that, I've had my ass kicked in spirit dimension my whole life, and especially since I was 31, when I woke up from one of my near-death experiences that later led to a book 9.5 years later called A Greater Tomorrow. We are now living in the time that I saw in vision all those years ago. As I age backwards and prepare the way for Yahshua to return, one day I will be ancient in the age of an old soul of 100 years living on the planet. And if they decide to kill me before then, that does not make false prophecy. That just means the work I've done was completed early. However, my intention is to stay on the planet, prepare the way for Yahshua, and get ready to bring in the new earth. And we're not talking new age, we're not talking rapture, we're talking, well, there are some things that some groups are correct on when the earth will receive paradisical glory and go from a celestial to terrestrial state. My intention is to continue to gather the remnant and to open and heal the hearts of the children of men. I am driving back from St. George up to Orem today. I will have a hair appointment at 4 o'clock before I go home, but before that I'll go to the gym. Why do I tell you this? Because all of these steps in my day were markers, or are markers, and one of the reasons I know that is because I hear it clearly from the other side and see it before I do it. Just like my intention to go on dates or not go on dates, or to kiss or not kiss, or have sex or not have sex is all intentional, and all things that I listen to the best I can from the other side of the veil. Am I perfect in it? Absolutely not. But I'm damn good at it. And I'm getting better, and I'd like to thank those on the other side of the veil for their help in guiding me through this dark territory. Utah pisses me off. Utah makes me angry. The hidden agendas, the abuse, the hiding has got to stop. And I see no other way for that wake-up call to happen other than for some destructions to come to Utah. And I am trying my best to bring in some of the destructions on a lower spectrum, meaning we have a Wasatch earthquake at a 6.9 or 7 instead of 9.5 to 10. There are some on this planet and in the space and in the air and in the Middle Earth and in the lower realms that would like mass destruction and complete annihilation. This is not what I hope for. What I hope for is more of a wake-up call for people to understand that Yahshua is King of Kings. There is a God. It's not just Christ consciousness, and not everyone is God or Christ. You carry the codes, many of you, and you carry that consciousness that we're trying to wake up. That does not negate the fact that you have a king and queen who rules over you. And I want to make it very clear that I work for Yahshua and I have reincarnated with a higher purpose other than just coming to the planet to be someone's wife or mother or sister or aunt or whatever, right? I'm not a grandmother. I was a step-grandmother for a while. Whatever role I've played. My main focus is to serve Yahshua. If you don't know who Yahshua is, I encourage you to start getting on your knees and asking God with sincerity who He is and to hear His voice. It is not too late. But the day will come when every knee will bow. And the part they don't tell you about by the patriarchy is that every knee will bow to Mother as well. She will also be uncovered. and she will be available in 3D, 40, 5D, 6D, and beyond. This is what I am seeing right now. Now let me back it up to what just happened to me. I just got off the phone with a guy that I met last night at Spiritual. He used to live in Draper. He lives in Logan now. We just had another huge phone session. This is a man that's more awake than most of the men that I've met. And this was an answer to my prayers and his. Will we date? Are we meant to be together in this lifetime? We will be friends. We might date a little bit, but we both know we're not each other's person for this lifetime, but there's some important work for us to do. And I was brought in his life this time because the other side of the bell told me 2 weeks ago that this was the night that I needed to go to Spiritual. The impromptu to it was that I scheduled a microblade eyebrow appointment that was only available on Friday the 13th of March, or I was going to have to wait till the end of May. But long ago, I saw that I would go to this appointment. I could never see myself actually getting it done, but I thought, they don't show me everything. Maybe it's just a block for some reason. What ended up happening is I went to the appointment. The lady took one look at my eyebrows and she said, "You have gorgeous eyebrows. You have clean eyebrows." That's what she called them. You have clean eyebrows. I don't want to microblade you. I don't want to tattoo you. It will ruin your eyebrows. Keep your natural eyebrows, which is what I heard and what I've been hearing for over a decade. Every time it comes in to get my eyebrows microbladed, I hear that. I want Joshua to know that I heard him, that I also heard that I needed to make that appointment and meet that girl, and that I also needed to meet the souls that I did Thursday night, Thursday day, Friday night, and this morning for certain touch points, activations, and wake-up calls for me and them. I am his servant. I did as instructed, including allowing the guy that I made out with last night to advance on me and then try to have sex with me for me to reject him several times. Let me make it clear. I do not just sleep around. And I am tired of telling men that. I am tired of saying no, but I will continue to say no every time I hear a no from my higher self or from Joshua or those that work for him. And I don't care how turned on I am. I don't care how horny I am. I don't care how hot the guy is. And I don't care what my connection is to him in past life. If it is not for my highest good or for the good of the collective, it does not and will not happen. Unlike those that I have recently heard about and seen, and I continue to see in my third eye, confirmed by a male witness who used to live and work and occupy space at South Mountain, Utah, and Draper. Let me make it very clear. Those of you who are Mormon or ex-Mormon and professing Christ while fucking each other like animals with the depravity that I see and hear and know about in Utah or anywhere else on the planet will get exactly what is called for that your energy is attracting. You want depravity, you will get destruction. You want depravity, you want to act like an animal, we'll bring you to your knees so you can remember that you are a son and daughter of God first, and not an animal of the Luciferian agenda. What I see and the depravity of what is going on this planet, and particularly right now that I see in my third eye of you fuck boys and you fuck girls, because yes, there are fuck girls, high-fiving each other, slapping each other's hands on the inside and outside, your orgies, and all of your swinging and your open relationships and your fucking around and finding out will get you your karma. And it is coming soon. And I am absolutely, completely, totally angry, which is the proper response to the blasphemy of Christ's name. Now, having said that, perhaps that voice is annoying for you to listen to. Perhaps those of you on my YouTube channel would rather hear me make jokes about the men and the things they try to do to me. Perhaps you would rather me speak softly and kindly like the fake Mormons do. Perhaps you would rather me go to church on Sunday and act like a good girl. But I'm not going to do that because I own my energy and everything I've ever said and done. And I stand by as his witness that I have seen enough. But if the Lord wants me to see more, if he wants my heart more broken, more angry, more soft, more loving, more kind, more depressed, or more angry, again, I will go through those cycles as many times as I need to wake the collective up and to make sure that those who have been abused or who are abusing will get the healing that they need if they so choose. Having said that, I am not going to be used. I am not going to be abused. And I am not going to be a servant who works tending to work for him in every level, layer, realm, and dimension. It is time for a clean sweep. It is time for my space to be cleared again. It is time for my fragments, parts, pieces, and all of my soul parts to be returned to me and for me to get my power back. The power that was stolen from me last night and anyone that siphoned my energy and since the last time I did a return to sender and a return of my soul parts. Those on the light forces and the dark and everything in between know exactly what I mean. This is my decree, this is my command, and this is my wish. By the word it was done, by the word it was said, and by the word it was written. Broadcast that, copy, confirm, and transmit, and end the recording. My voice is annoying on purpose.